What's happening, everyone? Welcome to another episode of Ade Gman. We're going to get stuck straight into this because Saturday was crazy.
Saturday was absolutely crazy. Mental.
Yeah.
That fight was wild. I mean, Fabio Wardley was saying going into that fight, he's like, believe me, there's going to be moments of drama. It won't be maybe the whole fight, but there'll be so many moments of drama. Boy, it's like he had a crystal ball.
Yeah.
Because from round one, there was drama.
He is, and I said this, you probably see it on my channel. I think I said that he is probably the best value for money fighter there is right now. I mean, I think I mentioned Benavidez and Virgil Ortiz, but we all like the heavyweights, right? Heavyweights is what it is. And I can't think of anyone. When you think of his last 4 fights, so the Fraser Clark fight of the year, the Fraser Clark rematch.
Knockout of the year.
Which was crazy, knockout of the year. The Justice Huni comeback of the year. And then this one, which is the best heavyweight fight I've seen in years, maybe. That's his last 4. He can't keep doing that, by the way.
No,
because there's no longevity in that.
There's absolutely no longevity in that. But you only mentioned his last 4 fights. I mean, even fights when he fought Nathan Gorman, that was wild.
That was wild. I was ringside for that. You're right.
Wild, that fight. This has been a consistent thing with Fabio Wardley. He's fighting guys, let's be frank, who are, you know, technically, from a technical point of view, better. They have more accomplishments in the amateurs and stuff like that. And he's just like, right, I'm just going to take it to you. I'm just going to turn this boxing match into a street fight. Yeah, that's what he does.
It's beautiful to watch.
Oh, it's incredible.
It's beautiful. Like, there was so much that Turkey made of this Tom and Jerry thing. If I'm Turkey, he's my newest, shiniest project.
He's your go-to guy.
He's your go-to guy. He's your go-to. He should be the one that you put in all the eggs into the basket because you know, again, what you're going to get. Like, unless someone completely knocks him out, which I don't think is possible.
No, he seems I'm starting
to think. Yeah, I'm starting to think no one can knock him out either, by the way. Unless someone ices him, you know he's dangerous for 12 rounds.
Yeah.
Which is quite frightening.
He does, and this is what I said before, because he's white collar, he plays up on that a lot, but he doesn't know how to lose. He has never lost a boxing match, ever, because he didn't have any amateur fights. So white collar, there's no winner. Well, although I'm assuming he did really win those fights.
Yeah, did you ever seen those doing the rounds?
No.
You haven't seen those? DAZN put them on the broadcast. Was it on the broadcast? No, on the weigh-in. So on Friday, they showed them, and it's frightening. What he's doing to people is actually quite scary. It's almost cheating. Like, they would have thought that he was a boxer that's just decided to pretend he's a white-collar boxer because he actually looks so far in front of everyone. So he naturally just had something.
He just has an attribute for the game?
Just an attribute to fight.
Jeez,
I think he's got an attribute to fight. I wouldn't be shocked if he was on the terraces fighting. Something about him.
He looks like someone in a street fight. He would be useful. He would be right up there with the Dylan Whites and Jarrell Millers and be like, yeah, I want him on my team, but we're having a street fight.
What did you... I can't remember your prediction for this fight.
Well, I was very much in the Joseph Parker will win because Joseph Parker will just use his boxing ability. He's a good boxer, and I truthfully thought that he wouldn't make the mistakes Justice Huni made and just engage Fabio Wardley where he doesn't need to. He'd be boxing on the back foot. He'd be using his jab. He'd be doing everything he should do. And he did that in the first round, and he had loads of success. The jab was popping. And then after that, he just decided, I'll box when I want to, but I'm going to try and take his head off. And that cost him. You know,
I don't blame him and his corner for maybe those instructions because there were times when he landed clean on Fabio and you thought, even I was thinking, oh, Fabio's hurt, he's out of here. And then he just recovers. So if you're Joseph, you're doing kind of what you should do. If you see a guy hurt, go for the kill. That's what Joseph's always done, right? He did it with Wilder. That's the way he fights. But then all of a sudden, Fabio, as we know, is the most dangerous person when he hurts, is throwing back with so much venom. So Joseph's kind of not doing the wrong thing, but I guess there's a time and a place to fight and there's a time and a place to box.
Yeah, it was like, was it round 2? I thought Parker buzzed Fabio Wardley slightly, and then Wardley ends up landing an uppercut and he absolutely Parker spat his mouthpiece out.
Yeah.
So it was like every time Parker buzzed him, he's like, go for it. Oh, I'm getting clipped going in. Because I think Wardley doesn't know how to hold really or defend. All he knows is fight fire with fire. And when you're a fighter and you're going in to try and finish the job and this big huge guy with fast hands is throwing these horrific shots, you're going to get hit with some.
Yeah.
And I think that's what these fighters don't get. It's like he's dangerous even when he's hurt.
Yeah.
Man's probably even more dangerous when he's hurt.
Yeah.
Because he just comes out swinging.
And he's getting better at boxing. Don't get me wrong, I saw him sort of fall over his front foot a couple of times when he's trying to kind of reach and Parker's not there. And he looked a bit clumsy at times, but I'm watching someone that I think is improving every single fight.
Do you know what it is? You're right on that because you see him when he was throwing the jab. Parker's jab was better. It was more consistent. But you can see the blueprint for a good boxer.
Yes.
It just needs a lot of work. but then he loves being a fighter at the same time.
Yeah, and we, as fight fans, prefer the fact that he's a fighter.
Oh, we
I don't want him to be a boxer. I don't want him to kind of do things that a guy with 400 amateur fights will do. Do you know what I mean? When they start to kind of read you and it almost becomes a bit negative. I like the fact that he is a bit Nigel Benn and Wilder-esque, where it's like, okay, you hurt me, I'm going to hurt you. You hit me, I'm going to hit you. And I love that. I think that plays out really well.
I think he plays it really well. Just on Joseph Parker, one of the things that I've heard mentioned about why he was so aggressive, right? He had 2 fights on Riyadh season before he fought Bacoli, right? And those 2 fights against Zhang and against Wilder took a bit of flack for them. Let's be real. They weren't the most entertaining. Do you remember when Usyk beat Dubois and Turkey was saying stuff like, oh, I don't know if we'll put the money up for this mandatory and this, that, and the other. I'm sure in the back of Parker's mind, he's thinking, Turkey's watching, Tom and Jerry boxing. You know, I don't want that. I want Turkey to do everything, roll out the red carpet for me and Usyk. So I'm going to make sure this is entertaining.
Maybe, I can't argue or disagree with it. That could happen. I think a lot of fighters are now thinking that in the back of their mind, that if they perform well, win or lose, you'll be on one of those Riyadh season cards, and we all know they pay a bit more. I just think that he not disregarded Fabio, but I just felt like he thought he was going to get rid of him easier. Yeah. Or maybe the fight was going to be easier. So I think he thought, well, 1 second, I've beaten who I've beaten, and you've struggled with Justice Hooney. Like, there's levels. I'm the number 2 by everyone's rankings, the second best heavyweight in the world. You're just cracking the top 10. Like, I'm going to get rid of you and I'm going to show you. And then I think he had a rude awakening in that second round.
It's about the mouthpiece out. Like, that's a sign
that
fighter was hurt.
Gone in the second.
Gone.
Like this, and it should have been over in a second. Like Howard Foster, who obviously we'll get to, shouldn't have stopped that. Like, it's only when there's a lull in the action, and there was no lull in the action. So really and truly, Fabio was about that. Well, Fabio was one more right hand away from getting Parker out there in a second.
And it was, as soon as that uppercut landed, you were like, oh, he's hurt. Mouthpiece goes out, Howard Foster jumps in. You're like, nah, mate. Because it was near the end of the round anyway. And you're thinking, those, 10, 15 seconds? With Fabio, with any other fighter, I'd be saying maybe it's survival. With Fabio Wardley in there, he is going to go and just, remember when he got Fraser Clark, it'd be like that. He's just going to go for it.
Yeah. When he doesn't sort of let up, does he?
No.
Again, very Wilder-esque actually. When Wilder knows you're hurt, he tries to go for the kill as well. And Fabio's definitely got that. Let's get to the controversial moment. Was it stopped early?
Yes. There's no doubt in my mind.
How many times have you watched it back?
I've watched it back about 4 or 5 times.
Okay,
now. Cool. I watched it back immediately after. I watched it back the next day. And every time I watch it, I just think, yeah, it was stopped early. I'm not in the same mindset I was immediately watching the fight live, where I was like, it's disgraceful. That's how I was thinking. But I still, I can see why he did it, but I just think he should have given him the benefit of the doubt. Because Parker, although he wasn't throwing back, the shots weren't landing.
No, agreed.
And that is where I kind of look and say no, because Fabio throws a big uppercut, misses. Throws a left hand, misses. The last punch that goes in, misses. And I'm like, he's not taking any damage. He's against the ropes, and Wardley is empty in the tank. So all Parker, he should have held, or he should have taken a knee. He didn't do either of them, so you can blame him for that. But they're not landing. Yeah. Like, I just can't justify stopping a fight when punches are missing.
It's too big a fight.
Exactly. Too much on the line.
Too much on the line. Too much consequence for Howard Foster, who is an experienced ref. This isn't a guy coming through. This isn't a rookie. Why British refs don't scream, show me something, like the American refs do? American refs will always say, I'm going to stop it. They actually tell you what they're going to do. I'm going to stop it unless you show me something. And then a fighter will either just, there's nothing, or they'll try and fire back. And then they get clipped and the referee comes in. I don't know why British refs, I don't want to sort of a complete blanket over all of them, but I can't ever remember a British ref saying, show me something or I'm coming in.
I only ever really see it between rounds. They might go to the corner and say, oh, if you don't show me something this round, I'm jumping in first chance. But whenever there's a crisis in a fight, the referee's just looking on, and you're not hearing at it, and he's not saying that, because you say about American referees, they always say it.
Always.
You gotta show me something, or else. You gotta do something. And that's
so they don't want to stop it.
No, they want to give the fighter you the every chance.
Especially if they know you are A, the A side, and B, up on the scorecards. They're like, yeah. Or if you're that guy, right? They really are against stopping it. Sometimes they go too far, but at least they give you the command so you know. So I'm thinking in my head, if Joseph hears that, He's showing you something.
I don't even think that. I think it's the fact that if it's a big occasion, regardless who the fighter is, they're just like, it's too big an occasion, there's too much on the line to just jump in and stop. Because when do you ever hear of anyone in America, like any fights really being stopped prematurely? No. You never hear about it. Because they always just give them every single chance they can have. Whereas in Britain, like Parker hadn't been dropped. He was winning the fight comfortably. He'd only had I know at the end of the 10th round he got buzzed, but he was winning that round comfy as well until he got buzzed. And I'm just like, you got to give him, you got to give him the benefit of the doubt there. Different if he was getting hit repeatedly with shots, his head was snapping back. I'd say, yeah, fair enough. But they're missing.
And you know what the crazy thing is? It was a back and forth war, but it was more Parker than Wardley. So if it was the other way around, where Wardley's winning these rounds, say Wardley was up by 5, a lot of people had Parker up ringside, by the way, by about 5. Yeah. If Wardley was up by 5 and landing no shots, okay, cool. Because you almost feel like Parker needs a knockout and he's taking a bit of a beating. But the fact Parker was up, and I don't know if refs know about the scorecards or have got an inkling as to who's winning, but I thought it was a bit of another boo-boo, from Howard Foster. And it makes me wonder, and I tweeted this, has Howard Foster ever had something in his career where he hasn't stopped it and a fighter's got seriously hurt?
I don't know.
Is there some sort of scar tissue there?
I know Victor Loughlin has.
Yeah, Victor Loughlin
has, but that hasn't really affected him. I can remember, and I did a video on this and I mentioned this. I remember when Josh Warrington fought Mauricio Lara the first time.
Ooh. Should have stopped that one.
It was round 4. Foster was refereeing,
yeah,
and he let Josh Warrington take a beat, and they were landing clean. And I'm just like, why did you let that carry on when a fighter is clearly out of it? And he actually kind of helped Josh Warrington back a little bit. He had to point him like on his back to the corner. And I'm like, Josh Warrington should have been stopped that round. And he was taking a beating, but you let it carry on. But you didn't let this, which is very different. I know they're heavyweights, but he's not even getting hit. Yeah. What the hell? I just think with Foster, it's always been, I think he panics. You can see in his face when a fighter is hurt, and in fairness, he's thinking of the fighter's safety, which is what you're supposed to do. But I think he just rushes. I think he just overplays things and just rushes in.
Yeah, I think he needs to be thinking, and some people might say he's only got a split second. Well, that's why you got the job. It's a top job, you're getting paid well. I think he needs to be thinking about the whole bigger picture here. And he's got to be looking at it from every angle, and unfortunately, he got it wrong. But I will say this, I'm slightly disappointed that Joseph Parker and Andy Lee didn't stay in the ring after for the interviews, because then is when that's when the complaint starts, and that's when you almost start the ball rolling for a rematch by saying, no, that was stopped early, it's a disgrace. And once you do that, a bit like the Paddy Donovan, Lewis Crocker thing, once you do that, all of a sudden, it happens. Yeah. It can happen.
Everyone wants to see it. They're talking about it. They hear about what he said in the ring after. He's angry at the referee. He wants this. And then all of a sudden, as you said, sanctioning bodies start ordering it. The fans demand it. It becomes
so many instances. Again, Crocker Donovan, Froch Groves, Paulie Malignaggi, Julio Diaz, I can't think it was Julio Diaz. But basically, if you scream and shout enough, there is a good chance, because all of a sudden now the fight's a lot bigger than it was the first time around anyway.
Exactly.
And now it's like, oh, okay, well, I really want to see this now. So I think it is a shame. I do want to discuss Wardley a bit, just because I know we talk about the fact that he didn't sort of put gloves on until up to 10 years ago.
It's crazy.
I feel like that needs to be discussed more.
It does, doesn't it?
I think what this guy's achieved, and whether or not he gets the Usyk fight, whether or not he beats Usyk if he does, which is obviously very, very, very difficult to see, he's just stopped Joseph Parker.
Joseph Parker was a good amateur. He's only a couple of years older than Wardley, so it's not like there's a massive age gap. Former world champion, #1 ranked heavyweight for the last year and a bit with the WBO. Arguably the second best heavyweight in the world. And he's gone in there, no amateur background, boxing 10 years, actually less than 10 years. Yeah. Because he made his pro debut in 2017. And he goes in and stops him. That's insane. That's actually insane.
Honestly, it's incredible. I just think his story, and I said a Rocky movie, it's better than that.
It is better.
Because Rocky's a legit boxer. He actually had fights. This is better than that. It's almost making a mockery of the sport, but also what it's doing, I think, is giving people that have maybe thought, it's not for me, maybe it's giving them sort of hope that 1 second, if you do knuckle down, there is a chance here, because this is a guy that is now making good money and is on a cusp of fighting one of the greatest heavyweights of all time.
I love his story because I'm always someone who would say to someone, if someone said to me, I'm 20, I'm 21, is it too late to start boxing? No, because you don't need...
If you're a heavyweight.
If you're, well, yeah, especially if you're a heavyweight, because you don't need to know as much. But in general, it's like, if you've got talent there, right, go, give it a go, see how you are in the amateurs. You don't need to have an amateur career that goes 10 years. How many times have we heard fighters say, I stayed amateur too long, I'm a bit jaded, and then they get indoctrinated into that style of just point scoring, and they're like two different sports, amateur and pro.
Yeah.
If you've spent 10 years in the amateur system, I mean, technically you look very good, but your pro style is going to be, you're going to have to learn a whole new style.
Agreed.
Whereas these just stay amateur. Someone like Fabio Wardley, white collar, clearly he's got an aptitude for sparring, straight into the pros, hits the ground running. And it's not like he was fighting, you know, world beaters early on. He fought absolute scrubs for the first couple of years. But still, he was out regularly. He was developing. He was in the gyms with I think he said Alexander Usyk's sparring would be different. So he's in with Usyk 7 years ago. He's only been a pro a couple of years and he's already sparring Usyk.
It's almost like the argument of someone, you know, finishing college and going to university for 3 years, or someone actually going to the workplace for 3 years. Yeah, who's going to be more developed? The person that's done it for 3 years, or the person coming out of uni now and then jumping onto the workforce? So there's a good argument there. Whereas amateur boxing is almost like going to the university, as opposed to just someone straight out of college or even straight out of school and going straight to the workforce. Does he get Usyk?
I think he does. I think
even though Krassik's come out and said he doesn't think Usyk should fight him.
I seen that, and Krasik thinks that Usyk should have retired. He should have retired after the Dubois fight. I think he will. I think Turkey will look at Fabio Wardley and think, that's the fight I want. Him versus Usyk next year. You could do it in Saudi. You could do it in Tottenham Hotspur. You could do it wherever. Tottenham would be great. That'd be great.
Tottenham's more realistic. I think 90,000 at Wembley is a bit of a push. In saying that, Dubois had 90,000 in there against Usyk, so you never know. And I actually think Fabio might have a bigger following than Dubois now, by the way.
Possibly.
Yeah.
But certainly Tottenham Hotspur, no questions about it. No question. Easy work. And I think, I think it would appeal to the fans more than a Joseph Parker fight. I'm sorry to say it, but it would. Fabio Wardley is entertaining. He's exciting. With Parker, although I'd give Parker probably a better chance against Usyk than I would Wardley, with Parker, you just know it's going to be a cagey affair. It's going to be a boxing match for 12 rounds. You don't know what you're going to get with Wardley. Yeah,
Wardley, generally, once he starts throwing and firing that right hand, you haven't got a clue.
And if you think about it like this, Usyk has seen so many styles in the amateurs. Has he ever seen anyone who's just a complete, I just want to fight?
No.
I don't want to box you.
No.
As soon as I get annoyed, as soon as you hurt me, I'm just going to swing back at you.
No.
Because in the amateur, you're not going to get that.
Of course he hasn't. He hasn't seen anything like Wardley. And obviously he's had over 200 amateur fights. So I'm sure there was someone similar, but nothing like this. Nothing that just, no one that carries that power all the way to the end. Like he would have been there with guys where the power starts to diminish after, where they're very dangerous, i.e. Dubois, for example, very dangerous for the first 6 or 7, then it does start to fade. I mean, we've seen it now with Wardley. That power lasts all the way to the end.
Yep.
All the way, which is incredibly rare. What does Parker do then?
He needs to go on a diet and take some of that weight off, because he shouldn't have been 262. He should have been in the mid-240s. But I think there's still plenty left for Joseph Parker. He's only 33 years old.
I don't think do you think the weight's that big a problem?
Oh, his feet look slow as molasses in there. I mean, I think one of the reasons why he kept getting clipped was because his feet weren't quick enough to get himself out of the way. I think the weight was a big problem. I don't understand where this weight gain has come from. And I know it worked against Piccoli. It worked against Piccoli, who, as you said, you were tracking his flight today.
They were obsessed with the weight growth. I know this for a fact because they thought they were fighting Zhang in the rematch. Really? And when they first fought Zhang, he was 240. The first fight with Zhang, and he got clipped a few times. I think they thought they needed to be a bit bigger. Bear in mind, Zhang's 300.
Yeah.
So I think they thought we need to be a bit bigger for Zhang. And when they didn't get the rematch with Zhang, I thought they might just take the weight back down, but they've decided to stay with it. I am surprised because obviously, ultimately, Andy Lee's the head trainer, and Lockhart is the S&C guys decided to put this weight on. I'd love to know if Andy Lee's happy with the weight.
I wouldn't say he is.
Yeah.
I'd say Andy Lee has worked with Joseph Parker for so long, 4 or 5 years now. He knows what Parker's best weight is. Because if you think about it like this, after he weighed 255 against Joe Joyce, which at the time was heavy for him, right? And as soon as he lost that fight, he went straight down away. I think he was in the 230s for a couple of fights. And he was looking good. So I think that's Andy Lee thinking, you're too heavy at 255 when he's in the 260s.
Yeah, 260s really, really heavy. I do wonder with fighters, when they get older and they start taking punishment, I do wonder if they think we have to be heavy to absorb the punishment. I think they might. I remember Thingy saying that, John Fury, about Tyson Fury, in the Wilder fights. Like, no, he needs to be big. So there's something about them just feeling like they can pack on size, as though that sometimes takes the punishment away.
I disagree.
I completely disagree with it.
I completely disagree with that as well, because with Tyson Fury, he was trying to get down to a Klitschko weight. But he couldn't do that anymore safely. So, but did he pack on loads of weight? No, I think he just walks around his normal weight and just fights that weight. Whereas with Joseph Parker, look at his shoulders, they're massive.
Yeah, you're right. With Joseph, you are completely correct. With Joseph Parker, there has been this thing of we're going to put size on.
Yeah.
We're going to put slabs of muscle on his body. You're right, Tyson Fury, that's just him.
That's normal, yeah.
Yeah, agreed. Yeah, there's been this thing of we're going to put weight on for Joseph.
Exactly.
And I feel like Joseph's natural walking around weight is around the 240, 250. And I'd like to see him get back down to that.
Mid to high 240s. His feet are a lot quicker. Because even in that first round where he was out boxing Wardley, you were just like, look how slow his feet are. He's not moving them. His hands are still quick.
Hands are still very good.
Very quick.
He really good. They were incredible, like a triple left hook.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's one, dum, dum, dum. And I was like, raw.
I was like,
really fast. His hands are really fast.
He's up there with the Itaumas of the world.
Yeah. Andy Ruiz. Like, remember when Andy
had
fast hands as well?
But just like Andy Ruiz, a little bit too heavy, feet are like they got stone blocks in them.
Yeah, what's up with everyone trying to put on size? It's weird. Everyone thinking they need to be big. And I keep saying this, and apologies, guys, for repeating myself. The number one heavyweight in the world treats us like a weight class. Alexander Usyk weighs the same. So why are these guys up and down, up and down? Just find what your optimum weight is and stick to it. It really bothers me.
I think the S&C coaches are to blame for that. I think that they look at boxing maybe the way they'd look at, football or something like that, or golf or something like that. Well, Rory McIlroy packed this much weight on and it helped him with his drive. It helped him do it. It's like, this is boxing though. Yeah. It's hit and not get hit. That I actually think a lot
of the S&C coaches, apart from the one team that I definitely know are great at boxing science, who actually are part of Fabio Wardley's team, I think a lot of them are just getting it wrong.
And Wardley is always the same weight.
Wardley's always the same weight. Wardley always looks nice and lean for his height. Like Wardley looks like the perfect heavyweight. He almost looks like a throwback of like a 70s heavyweight where it doesn't look too muscular. Like Wardley, like AJ looks bulky and Dubois bulky, strong. So they almost feel like they're going to get a lot of lactic acid. There's a reason why Wardley can still throw bombs in the 12th round. It's because he is quite lean and loose and there isn't much muscle on that frame. I think that's just him.
His natural body. He's only having to do probably hardly any S&C to stay that way. So he can go through these rounds at a good pace. And yeah, I think people played up way too much for S&C. You need it in the lower weight divisions for nutrition and stuff like that to get the weight off. Heavyweights though,
agreed.
Nah.
I completely agree. Andy Lee, that's back-to-back tough ones now for Andy Lee, who still my favorite trainer regardless. And maybe that's because I like him as a person, whatever. But yeah, Paddy Donovan one was tough. Lewis Crocker came in with... Yeah, he did, but Lewis Crocker came with a style, and I don't think Paddy adjusted correctly to that new style of Lewis. But regardless of whether or not we both play, because I think Paddy won as well, by the way, that's two high-profile... He's highest-profile fighters. The guys he's had the longest in that camp. That's now back-to-back defeats for Andy.
I still think he's a top trainer.
Of course he is.
I think that's what people do nowadays, because that was never a thing maybe even 10 years ago. You lose. It's not the trainer's fault. Whereas now it's like, blame the trainer. Oh, Ben Davison is rubbish. Joshua got knocked out by Dubois. Don Charles is terrible. No, the fighters are... And actually, the instructions Andy Lee was given was completely the opposite to what Parker was doing in there. He was telling them basically stick to his boxing. Parker was the one who was making the mistakes. It's not Andy Lee's fault. I think Andy's a good trainer. He's done wonders for Joseph Parker. He'd be a fool to leave.
Yeah. No, I don't. How loyal Joseph is... Just in general, just in life, I'd be very shocked if he even thought of that. I can't see that happening at all. Rounding up then, so you think Parker will fight who next? Very quickly.
No, that is a good question.
Yeah.
He will fight.
Yeah.
And I've no doubt he'll fight next year.
Dubois?
That would be actually... Dubois mentioned it. Now, the only problem is Sanchez.
Yeah.
Dubois. But if that fight can happen... Even though there's no world title on the line, I think just to get it done. Because Dubois said himself that he feels bad that he didn't get to do that fight. So yeah, do it. I do it. It's in-house.
Yeah, it's great. I love it. I mean, there were so many people I had on stage. You literally could fight every one of those guys. Okoli was on stage. Itauma was on stage. Cabial was on stage. They could literally fight any of them.
You know what, when I was watching that live, and it just, like, to have that stable of heavyweights, I'm looking at him like, Frank, man, you really did.
And by the way,
incredible.
Tony Yoka wasn't there. He's with Frank.
Yeah.
Hergovich is with Frank. Zhidi Zhang is with Frank. Fury, obviously, with Frank. Joe Joyce was in the crowd. He's with Frank. Like, literally, it was only half the stable. Like, I don't know, but that's all well and good, though, and it's great. But where's the dates for these guys to fight? Like, what's going on? And even if they have dates, a lot of these guys are not fighting the fights that we really want to see.
No.
It's almost like they're all having quarterfinals. Like, why isn't Caviar fighting Dubois? Like, Dubois said, I'll fight Caviar. I'm like, okay, Caviar's fighting January 10th. Why can't Dubois fight him? Mm-hmm. Do you know what I mean?
Like, at the very least, why can't Dubois be in his undercard?
Yeah.
Set it up for a big fight.
Set up for a big fight. So it's all well and good having the stable, and he's got a great stable. But we do need to see these guys start mixing it with each other. And fingers crossed that happens in 2026. WHYTE Chisora III.
Now,
honest thoughts.
I honestly thought when you brought those guys there, it was going to be announced. Derek Chisora, he drives a hard bargain, doesn't he?
Jeez.
He really does. I saw...
They said, very quickly, actually, when we're doing this, so they gave me the idea, I'll tell you this. So they said to Ade, we want you to do something. And I was like, I ain't doing it. They literally said, okay, so what we need is you on stage with all the heavyweights. So it's only going to be me by myself with Frank Warren in the middle. And I was like, nah. I said, Itauma cannot be on the same stage as WHYTE. That's almost a bit, for WHYTE, it's a bit awkward knowing that you're right next to the guy that just knocks you out. So I said, that doesn't make any sense. And I said, Chisora, I'm scared of him going live with a mic because anything can happen with Chisora. So I said, look, let's get Dev involved and let's split this up. So we do Chisora WHYTE, and if Jarrell Miller turns up, which he did, and then we'll do the other guys. So it was going to be, the start of that thing was going to be crazy. There's going to be 9 fighters on stage with me at one stage.
Jesus Christ.
9 heavyweights.
And there's some big egos and some big characters there.
Dude, so it would have been crazy.
I was surprised it went as well as it did, because once I saw Miller there, I was like, uh-oh. But if he was all right.
He was better than I thought he was going to be.
Yeah, because when I seen him, because I knew he wasn't, I was like, he wasn't meant to be there.
No.
And I was like, oh.
Dude, I was looking at security, literally, the corner of my eye, I was like, what you guys doing? How have you who's going to stop him? I was like, how have you let him through? Like, you had one job. Do not let Miller on this stage, but no one was going to stop him.
In fairness, it's Jarrell Miller. I mean, there's not many security guys who could stop him, to be fair.
There isn't a security guy there that could stop him. Yeah. Let's be honest. This guy isn't just a boxer, he's a kickboxer.
I'm sure those guys
and
are not paid enough for this.
Yeah, indeed. Okay, then back to it. Chisora WHYTE 3.
I like it. I've seen a lot of people, some are 50-50. I like it. I think that, listen, they're both well past it. They've entertained us twice already. What's wrong? It's worse if this was Derek Chisora versus Moses Itauma. Then I'd be like, why? He's faded. It'd be worse if it was, I don't know, like Richard Torres versus Dylan White. I'd be just like, why? These two are both in the same place in their career.
Agreed.
I think Chisora still has more left than Dylan White, but why not? Let's do it. We did the look back for their first fight. It was epic.
Yeah, first fight was just frightening.
Phenomenal.
Second fight was really good as well.
Second fight was brilliant.
Second fight was really good. Obviously, Chisora got knocked out because I remember he got a point deducted, so he thought he had to chase
panicked,
it. He had to panic. I don't mind it. I think the thing that people are minding is the 3 letters after the event, PPV. I think that's what's pissing people off.
Yeah.
And I think they're going to have to look at this a lot. I understand. You heard Chisora on stage. He clearly only cares about his money.
Yeah, and that's what it's about.
That's what it's about. Yeah.
And Frank is not a stupid man by no stretch. He knows, well, if Chisora wants that, there's only one way to get it. And it's 3 words.
Yeah.
Or 3 letters.
And that's a shame. Yeah, that's a shame with it. But it's going to happen.
Will we get a good undercard, though, do you think?
I mean, surely yes. And the reason I say this is because, again, we just looked at the heavyweight stable. Mm-hmm. So he's got 13 heavyweights. He has a bigger UK stable than Matchroom.
Yeah, much bigger.
Much bigger, by far. Pack it. Stack that stable.
The only reason I ask is we had one of the worst co-main events I've ever seen. Dude, we can't have that again.
I wish I could comment further. That was... so I tweeted. I got in trouble. So because I tweeted and said, this is horrendous.
It was awful.
And I couldn't help myself. I was like, Ade, don't say it. You're working on the event. Be careful. But I couldn't, because I was like, it's the first time hearing who these guys are.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, that doesn't matter necessarily. It's not about a name. It's about a fight. They both looked incredible on the scales. Both looked like Mr. Olympias. Yeah. I'm like, muscles on muscles. Yeah. And then it just was the flattest thing ever.
I think that's what upset a lot of people, and that's why the main event saved it.
Yeah.
So I think if we do have the dreaded 3 words, which likely we will.
3 letters.
3 letters. Well, it is 3 words, pay-per-view.
It is, yeah, you're right. You're
I saved myself there.
You did save yourself very well.
I saved myself very well there.
Yeah.
But I think we need at the very least, a decent co-main event.
Yeah.
It can't just be reliant on we can't just be constantly having pay-per-views that are just one fight reliant. If we're having more pay-per-views, if that is going to be a thing, if they're UK based, at least have a couple of fights that people could say, do you know what? I'm interested for that as well as the main event.
Yeah, and also to add to that, if you are going to charge people, which is happening a lot now, bear in mind, this one's gone pay-per-view, Ben Eubank pay-per-view, Benavidez Yard pay-per-view, this one likely pay-per-view as well. This white Chisora fight we're talking about. So that's 4 pay-per-views in the space of 6 weeks or so.
It's a lot.
It's a lot, dude.
A lot. Especially coming up to Christmas as
It's
well.
a lot, dude. You can't do that. So if you are going to do it, you've got to stack it.
Yeah.
It can't just be a case of Chisora flips the table, everyone's going to buy it. No, you've got to stack it. You've almost got to give them a Christmas present. Okay, look, we're charging you, but look at this.
Well, this card that we have this weekend, I mean, that card would have been perfect as the undercard.
Good shout.
That would have been literally, if instead of, and I don't know, obviously they've dates, they've venues booked and stuff like that, but in an ideal world, if it could happen, would have been great to just get this card this week, move it a week back, and just put it on the O2, because I think genuinely, if you had, because it's a great card this weekend, people would be like, yeah, I'll buy it.
Yeah, 100%. Agree. Joshua Buatsi, Zach Parker.
Yeah.
Has chief support. You take it. It's just names as well. Names you know. Lyndon Arthur, Bradley Rates. Names you know.
Such a big UK. Never mind the heavyweights. Just in general.
Yeah.
Frank Stable is big enough that we can get hopefully some good names.
All right, let's talk about a man that we thought would have been on the card, and that man's Moses Itauma. Because there seems to be a Moses Itauma problem now.
A big one.
Yeah, a problem. Moses Itauma, and you guys know this, I did a video, I'm pretty sure you must have done a video talking about it as well, has only fought 4.5 minutes in 2025.
3 rounds. 2 rounds against Below and 1 round against Dylan White.
Yeah, 4.5 minutes.
What is that for a prospect?
I am flabbergasted.
Cannot be happening.
I can't.
And if he does,
and by the way, we're saying this as big Moses fans.
Oh yeah, massive.
Yeah, I think Moses is the best prospect in world boxing.
Easily.
But you cannot. Inouye's about to have his full fight of the year as a pound for pound number 3 great, all time great. How can a prospect only have 3 rounds of boxing in a year?
It's just not good enough. It really isn't. And I think this is the problem with Itauma gaining the following, being on pay-per-view so early in his career. You've kind of set a precedent for him. And I don't know whether is it Frank or whoever, but once you've done that, it's kind of almost like nothing else will do.
When you say nothing else in terms of a named opponent.
A named opponent on a pay-per-view event, because
this is the problem.
He could be a co-main, but it kind of has to be a named opponent. And I would have no problem, literally no problem for Itauma if they put him in there with a Sergei Kuzmin or someone like that. You know, someone like that we know who's going to win, or even just a durable journeyman. You know, that's fine. You know, give him some rounds.
I don't think that's acceptable anymore.
But that's the problem.
They've made a rod for their own back. Because you're right, he really should be fighting, at this stage of his career, genuinely, he should be fighting Otto Wallin.
Otto Wallin.
Those type of guys.
That guy who fought Bakadir Jalilov.
Yeah.
Who made him go life and death. That's a great opponent, because he'd bring him rounds, do it over 8 or 10 rounds, bring him rounds, he'll learn things. That's fine. But you can't do that. Because that guy had like God knows how many losses.
Yeah, you can't do that. I don't know how, but they've got the biggest thing in front of them where they've got to kind of rein it back. They've almost got to take backward steps without it being obvious that they've decided to kind of put the reverse lights on here. Because I agree with you. I would accept Moses fighting guys in the top 30. But I don't think the general public now, because of what we're saying about Moses, I think they want Bakoli.
They want Bakoli.
They want Bakoli. They want Hergovich. They want those type of guys.
They want the big names. They want the big names who they know, and he's really good. He's really dangerous, and this, that, and the other. It's like, he's a 20-year-old prospect. I believe he can beat some of those guys, but we don't need to put him in. He's not going to break Mike Tyson's record. Yeah. So what's the point in rushing the kid?
Funny things, talking about Mike Tyson's record, Mike Tyson in the lead up to fighting Trevor Berbick fought 12 times in a year. So in 1986, Mike Tyson fought 12 times, and there weren't 1-round blowouts, all of them. He had, I think, 3 or 4 10-rounders in there.
James Tillis and Mitch Green, they both went 10 rounds.
There you go.
That wasn't long before he fought Berbick.
And then he fought Berbick.
But the level of preparation.
Is that just a thing now? I mean, you know, we're talking about Moses. Is that just how boxing is now?
Well, you can't.
Where fighters are fighting once a year, twice a year.
There's not as many broadcasters and there's not as many promoters who are willing to just, I'll work with him. So you can't get it. Mike Tyson was fighting once a month at one stage in his career. It's crazy. The idea of doing that now. But I think if you can even get, like, as a prospect, 6-7 fights in a year, that's incredible.
Yeah.
The kid has had 2 fights, 3 rounds.
He's had as many fights in his pro career as Mike Tyson had in that year.
That's
so in that year,
insane.
Mike Tyson had 13. Trevor Burbick being the 13th. Itauma's had 13 fights.
That's just...
Mike did it in 1 year.
That's insanity. And you're talking about 2 precocious talents. It's just... No, something has to change.
But I do believe that they have an issue, though. I do believe... I was talking to Itauma's lawyer, so I definitely have to say it was a confidential conversation. But it's not easy making fights for Itauma.
No,
for a number of different reasons, yeah.
And if you do want...
Fighters want money fighting him.
Literally, I was going to say, you want a good opponent, okay, he's going to cost a lot. And it's like, what do you do?
But how is Michael Hunter? I think Michael Hunter's fighting December 6th or 7th in York Hall. Soon as Michael Hunter announced that he's coming over to the UK, I think he said London, but I was like, oh, Michael's fighting Moses. Has to be.
Yeah,
has to be.
What I was thinking.
Perfect opponent.
Yeah.
Good fight. He's obviously asked for... There's no way Michael Hunter's not been on the phone, or Michael Hunter's team not been on the phone with Moses' team to try and make a fight.
No, 100%. And he's fighting in the York Hall for probably pennies on a dime. This is the problem, because I think the problem with fighting in Itauma is if he beats you, although you're fighting one of the best prospects, I think, in the world, you still got beat by a 20-year-old who's 13-0. Now, that's a hard one to come back from. Yeah, it's not like you're beating from an established contender.
Yeah, still lives at home with his mum and dad.
There you go.
There you go. It's quite embarrassing.
Wow, does he?
Yeah. Nah, just made up. No, just made up. Surely he doesn't. You never know. Remember that they said that about AJ for years. I'm like, no, he doesn't. He said AJ lives with his mum. I'm like,
yeah, they were saying he was with his mum when he was fighting Usyk. He was
in his
30s. So I was like,
stop lying. He doesn't. He doesn't at all. Mayweather-Pacquiao.
No, please.
No.
So
what is going on?
No, please, just no, not that.
You wouldn't watch it?
I probably would.
Wait, 1 second. So wait. No, please, but you'd watch it?
Yeah, well, we do videos on it, so I would do videos on it. But
that means yes?
That means yes.
Yeah.
I would do, well...
No, I know what you mean. Look, I'm playing devil's advocate. No, thank you. Like, I would watch 2 guys full at a pub fighting. So asking someone, would you watch a boxing match when you like boxing? Of course you'd watch a boxing match. I like watching people fight. But you're right. I mean, the first fight was 5 years too late. It's now 10 years on from that. Yeah.
It was a stinker. I remember being so hyped at the time for that fight, knowing it would probably be a stinker, but hoping, because it was so big that the occasion that they didn't. That was 10 years ago. They were in their late 30s. They were in their late 40s.
Yeah. Mayweather was 48. Pacquiao was 45.
Oh my God.
Yeah, what's going on?
I would probably favour, I don't even know who I'd favour. I might even favour Manny this time.
The
fact that Manny's actually had a proper professional, he should have been world champion.
Yeah.
Floyd's been out of the ring really, really since he fought Berto. I don't count that McGregor fight. It's
crazy, isn't it? Yeah, I don't count all the exhibition nonsense as well. Like, I don't want to see it either, but I think it will happen. I think Netflix are interested in that type of thing.
You see,
they put on Jake Paul, Mike Tyson.
Exactly.
Of course they're going to put on Floyd versus Manny.
And do you want to know something? Because it's still Floyd Mayweather, Manny Pacquiao, because it has the history, it will do better than Mayweather Crawford, or than Canelo Crawford on Netflix.
Oh, 100%.
Smash it.
Yes, smash it to
Smash
pieces.
it out of the park.
This is Floyd. This is the guy that entertains more than anyone we've seen in the sport of boxing.
Manny Pacquiao.
Yeah, and because Manny looked good in his last fight.
Exactly. And because it's a professional fight. What did Floyd Mayweather sell his career on? The O. Is the O going to go?
I don't know.
Now listen, even if the O does go, Floyd is still, he's 40, he's nearly 50. I won't hurt his legacy. Just the O is gone.
You know when I hear a fighter when we talk about someone's age, it does make me weirdly appreciate, I always appreciate this guy anyway, but Bernard Hopkins.
Oh, incredible.
Who was actually fighting Sergei Kovalev at that age, if not slightly older. I think he might have been 49.
He was 50 when he fought Joe Smith Jr.
Do you know how crazy that is? That's crazy, because we were like, Mayweather's Hopkins is a completely different beast.
He called himself the alien, and that's what he was.
Yeah,
he was an alien.
He was. Let's round up some news very quickly. Dalton Smith, Sabro Matias done January 20th. Yep. The Barclays. We haven't had a fight at the Barclays. Oh, actually, God, I think did Danny Garcia not recently just fight there?
He recently fought at the Barclays,
but before that, it was Devin Haney, Ryan Garcia. Wait, what?
Tank fought. I'm pretty sure Tank fought Roach.
Frank Martin or Roach?
Oh, was it Lamont Roach? At the Barclays. I'm pretty sure he fought him there. But yeah, and the Barclays was the spot, wasn't it?
Yeah,
that was the atmosphere in
Barclays
there is electric.
Incredible. Yeah,
I think Dalton Smith is absolutely fantastic.
Oh, there's a butt coming. I can hear it. There's a butt coming.
Sobral Mateus is lethal, but he has slowed down. He's not as he can't.
He's not a whirlwind. But he's a whirlwind.
He was 3 minutes of every round non-stop. I'm going to hit you anywhere. He doesn't do that now. We slow down a bit. But I still think Dalton Smith is someone who's very much a rhythm fighter. He likes getting into his. He ain't going to have no rhythm against Mateus.
Yeah, this is a tough ask. I mean, if this fight was in Sheffield, then maybe so. But I mean, look, you have to travel. Kell Brook did it to Sean Porter. You have to travel.
Are going to come to New York in their thousands.
In their thousands.
Thousands.
Like he's never experience anything remotely like what he's going to experience January the 20th. I do think that's going to be the same day as Callum Smith, David Morrell. So I think this is going to be a Riyadh season card now, I believe.
That'll be epic.
Good fight.
That'll be a really good card, really good fight. There's also, I mean, I know it's not Matchroom, but Matchroom UK fighters, there's going to be a lot of world title shots in January of next year, isn't there?
Yeah, Josh Kelly.
Good
luck. Backram Taziliev.
That's going to be in the UK, isn't it?
That's going to be in Newcastle.
That's
going to be Newcastle, and I think they're talking the 27th or something.
The week after.
Yeah.
Well, January is normally a quiet month in boxing, isn't it? It's normally
clearly isn't.
No one ever wants to fight because it's after Christmas.
Yeah, Caballero's fighting January 11th. I'm getting all these dates wrong, but Caballero's fighting January 10th or 11th in Germany.
And didn't I hear Eddie with Dave Allen saying that they're doing a show, and actually that was probably it, the one in Yorkshire. Because, well, obviously, I don't think Newcastle's North Yorkshire, but in the north.
Yeah.
So, yeah, there's a lot coming. But Josh Kelly, good luck with that, mate.
That's
yeah,
that's a brutal matchup.
Listen,
Backram's been like, I don't want to say the most avoided 154 pounder, but every time I see Perspid Backram, I see Perspid off. Mm-hmm. No one seems to want to fight him.
Yeah, he really is that kind of guy, and he is lethal. I mean,
that Tim Tszyu beating sticks in my mind.
Fundora beat him first time, beat him up the second time, didn't do what Backram did. That was insane.
Yeah, I can picture Josh Kelly outboxing him for 3 or 4 rounds. I can picture that, and then he just won't outbox him, and they'll get to him.
I will never forget that David Avanesian fight.
Yeah,
Backram is like Avanesian on steroids.
He's way bigger.
It's crazy. And Kelly's not fought anyone like Avanesian since he's fought Avanesian. That's 4 years ago.
Yeah.
Maybe Ishmael Davis on short notice.
No, but look at that. What happened. Look at that. Look at that happened in the last couple of rounds of that. That's what I'm trying to say. So he's outboxing Ishmael and making Ishmael look clumsy, and then bang. Mm-hmm. Do you know what I mean? So I mean, what are you in the sport for? Making money, world titles. He's going to make some good money. It's a world title shot, and he's got it at home.
Yeah, he's got it at home. So that will help him because when he fought David Avanesian behind closed doors, COVID era.
Yeah.
So how did that affect him? We don't know. But yeah, good luck. That's all I'll say. Good luck.
Yeah, good luck. You're fighting a guy that's basically a super middleweight that can make 154. Let's not forget, Josh Kelly was a 147 guy.
He's a welterweight.
Yeah, so this is going to be a big ask. Buatsi this weekend. You spoke about it a bit earlier. Man. Buatsi versus Zach Parker. Buatsi back after that fight of the year. It's going to be so interesting who wins fight of the year because there's been so many good ones.
Oh, we can add Parker Wardley to that now.
Yeah, you can add so many. Ben Eubank. There's been so many good ones, like real good fights. But I am interested to see what Buatsi. He took a slacking.
It was tough.
Yeah.
He needed this amount of time out of the ring to recover. I think because it was horrible in there.
Yeah, it was hard.
It's his first loss, I think, against Zach Parker. Listen, Zach Parker. I've watched him. He was never the biggest 168 pounder. He's got no business at 175 pounds.
Agreed.
In my opinion.
Agreed.
I remember when he fought Darryl Williamson a couple of years ago, and he got a terrible beating in that fight, but they gave him the decision.
Do you remember that?
I remember.
I could not believe that.
He took that was on the world. That was on one of Josh Taylor's
That was one of the worst decisions.
Awful.
I felt so sorry for that kid.
He never boxed again after that.
I felt so sorry for him. Yeah.
He never boxed again after that. I can't see anything other than Joshua Buatsi stoppage.
Yeah, I remember he got beat by John Ryder. Let's not forget that as well.
He quit against John Ryder.
Yeah. Was it the O2 Arena?
O2 Arena.
Empty O2 Arena.
A very empty O2 Arena, but and he quit against John Ryder. I can't get that out of my head.
I'm still not convinced about the link up. I know it's been about 8 or 9 fights now, so it is what it is. The Virgil Hunter, Joshua Buatsi link up.
No.
I don't. No. I think Josh gets hit too much.
Yep.
I just don't like it.
I think that maybe actually someone like a Don Charles would be good for Joshua Buatsi.
Maybe.
Because I know it's look, I know it's early days with Tony Yoka and Don Charles, but Tony Yoka was with Virgil Hunter, and he looked really bad, really bad. And since he's been with Don Charles, I know he's only fought, you know, a who's he, but still it's been a little bit more of a kind of, resurgence in Tony Yoka. So maybe someone like a Don Charles would be a good show for Joshua Buatsi. Yeah. Come back to the UK, base yourself back here. Don Charles is up near Wembley, I think. South London boy, Northwest London, there you go.
I like it. I want to end on this. This is a bit of a random one. It's a rogue one. I just sort of thought about it now, so I'm putting you on the spot. Okay. Apologies, but you know, you got your boxing knowledge.
I got my boxing.
You know, you don't care about offending anyone, unlike me, who tries to kind of fence it a lot.
Me offend someone? Never.
Never. I want you, if possible, to name your current, and I'm gonna put a bit of context to this. You can't name the old guard, right? And so when I say the old guard, you'll understand what I'm going to mean by the question. Your current favourite 5 British fighters.
Current favourite 5 British fighters. Okay, that's.
I'll do mine as well. I'll do it as well.
Probably Fabio Wardley.
Okay, so as number 1.
As number 1.
Okay, you're doing it that way. I always find that hard what you're doing. So you're going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 instead of 5. Okay, but you've started. Go on.
Okay, so we go number 1, Fabio Wardley.
Yeah.
Okay. Number 2. Number 2, I would probably say Moses Itauma.
Okay.
Because you know me, I love the heavyweights, and he is a tremendous heavyweight.
Yeah.
George Liddard really impressed me.
Oh,
so I'm going to put
rogue
George.
Shout.
I was shocked.
Love that shout.
I was actually shocked, and I went and looked at some more of his fights. He is good, but I didn't think he was that good.
Liddard's really good. That's a really good shout.
I'm sticking George Liddard there because he shocked.
Go on, Georgie boy.
He shocked me. Yeah. He really did. I really enjoyed that performance from George Liddard. RBS.
Royston Barney Smith is your number 4.
Yeah, I've never seen a bad performance.
This is so hardcore of you.
I've never seen a bad performance from him, and he looked. That guy was unbeaten. He fought on Saturday.
Yeah.
And I was looking. I was thinking, I'm waiting for this to get hard.
I think he can beat Ryan Garner. Ryan Garner, super featherweight that beat Reece Bellotti. That's a big fight in the South Coast. I like that. Yeah, 2 super feathers.
And Reece Bellotti actually, and just shows how he handled Reece Bellotti handily. Look how much trouble Josh Padley had.
It's interesting, isn't it? All right, last one.
Crazy. And the last fighter, let's think. All right, I'm going to maybe get a bit of flack on this, right? But because I've seen so much improvements in her, Shannon Ryan.
Ooh, okay.
She impressed the hell out of me in her last fight.
Very interesting.
She impressed the hell out of me in her last fight.
You've gone really like hardcore rogue, left, right. Okay, so I'll give you I'll do 5-1, yeah? So 5, Dalton Smith.
Mm-hmm.
I just like Dalton Smith. There's something about him. I feel like this could be it. He just needs to go. I feel like this could be it.
For me.
Yeah. Dalton Smith 5. I'm gonna go Ben Whittaker 4. I just like the flashiness. You know what it is, yeah? I feel like I need to be entertained. I was brought up on Prince Nassim Hamed jumping over ropes and Chris Eubank doing all sorts of nonsense. So I'm gonna go 4. 3. I'm gonna go Moses Itauma 3.
Only 3? Okay.
Only 3.
I'm looking forward to hearing this now.
Only 3, Moses Itauma. Number 2, you mentioned him as your number 1, Fabio Wardley. I think he's sensational.
Who's number 1 then?
Number 1, Hamza Shiraz is my number 1.
Of course, this is if I didn't already
Come on,
know.
dude. Come on.
You were there.
Come on, I love him. You know, he was there on Saturday.
I was going to say, looking like a model again.
Dude, I've never felt so ugly next to someone. He had like this green suit, like almost like it was ironed on him. And he had a Richard Mille watch, which looked like it worth about £1 million, hair gel back. And I was like, And you know, it is what I like about him as well. So aside from all the fighting, like he can get in the ring, you know, he does the business. Mm-hmm. You give him the mic, he's articulate, but he can also be a bit, you know, when he wants to be a bit cheeky. So you know you're getting something from. Man, sometimes I interview fighters, I'm like, where's him? I'm like,
having to work hard.
Yeah, I'm having to like unload all my questions in a minute. Whereas Hamza, he understands. It's one question. We've got 45 seconds. He'll give him my 45 seconds. Thank you, Hamza. Thank you, Ade. Goodbye.
Done.
I'm a big fan of Hamza. Big fan. Honorable mentions. I do like Vidal Riley. And I do like young Adam Azim as well. I want to see Adam Azim come out of his shell a bit more.
Adam Azim, I like, but not in
me top 5. Is he fighting Scooby? Like that, I think he's fighting Scooby on the undercard. Scooby's an American fighter. He fights on the OTX cards.
Because his original opponent pulled out.
Yeah, that's a really good replacement. That guy can go some. Yeah. You know, honestly, this is... Risky. All right, that was, sorry, on the spot. I know you might change your mind eventually.
No. Vidal Riley, no. I like them both, but they just don't do it for me.
Even after you didn't like Vidal's performance against Chef Clark?
I loved his performance, but it's still...
You need a bit more.
I need a bit more.
Need a bit more,
maybe because I do love some flashy fighters. Ben Whittaker, though, the flashiness is all right, but he's had some stinkers as well.
He had a couple of stinkers. All right, there you go, guys. We chucked in a bit of fun there at the end. Give us your top 5 as well. Your top 5 British fighters. So no old guard. So obviously I'd have AJ in mind. I'd probably have Lee Wood and Josh Warrington, but that's the old guard. I'd have Chisora. We're talking like the new guys, new kids on the block, a male or female. You had Shannon Ryan and I probably might have chucked Lauren Price in hindsight in mine as well. But as always, thank you so much for watching. Remember what to do. You can subscribe to each channel. Link is in the description. Subscribe to mine if you're new to this channel. If you are new, welcome. And we'll see you next week. Peace.